Thank you, President, give me an honor to do the introduction today. My name is Reina. I would like to introduce the people from the table. First of all, of course, the main person today is our Prime Minister, President Dao, who has been Prime Minister of Provisional National Government of Vietnam for 28 years, and he's also our new honorable, new elected President of the Republic of Vietnam. President Dao, please stand up so we can meet up. And I will start from our right hand side, who is our attorney of Provisional National Government of Vietnam, Mr. James Thakpool. Please stand up. The next person will be our Ministry of PNG, Mr. Frank Howing. The next person is Mr. Thomas Gabriel, our new member. I will go back to the left-hand side, who is our member of PNG DN for so many years, Mr. Mike Leonard. And the next person that is actually sitting with me, myself is Wei Aina. I'm from Canada. I'm a representative of PNGBN and also a Major General of PNGBN. Our General of PNGBN and Dr. Reuter. And the remaining of all the people, the members sit at the back, our member of PNG. Please all stand up so we can give you. Also, I'd like to introduce a special person who is also in the team of designing our new electronic voting system, engineer Hu Ji. Please stand up. Now we can start the press conference, and I will give back to our Major General. It's my apology. I'd like to introduce to President Dao and all the rest of the members. Our guest today is Mr. Alex Portvalis.
Alex, we need some Reuters.
All right, I'm going to try to go through my statement so Alex can get to his business. Alex, first of all, thank you for being here. My name is James Bui. I'm third generation to my family to be fighting for liberty in Vietnam. I've been with the Provisional National Government of Vietnam and after PNGV for a few years. Under the direction of President Dao, it has given me valuable knowledge about communist Vietnam, its political party and affairs. On February 16, 1991, 3 generations, the elders, middle-aged, and youth Vietnamese all over the world have elected Mr. Dao as Prime Minister. This is best documented by journalists entitled Viet History by Don Ortega. We are a legitimate government that represents Vietnam, the Paracel and Spratly Islands. We represent the people and the Republic of Vietnam. We are sovereign with sovereign claims. As far as the Vietnamese Communist government, they have used force to take over Vietnam, which is a breach of peace and in violation of the 1954 Geneva Treaty and the 1973 Paris Accord. Until recently, Prime Minister Dao was elected to become president of the Third Republic of Vietnam by millions of Vietnamese. The votes are still coming today with a new voting system that he has spearheaded. The popular votes count is increasing. President Dao is an honorable man. His dedication to helping Vietnamese is unmatched by anyone. During the Vietnam War, President Dao served under the Black Tiger Company, military intelligence. After the war, he continued his fight for free Vietnam to this day. His knowledge, expertise, and experience about Vietnamese and Chinese communists are complete. His claims about them have status and weight. President Dao's clear-cut, nonviolent, push-smashing the face of Ho Chi Minh and Mao Zedong campaign is very successful. It's a simple campaign. You sign your name on a leaflet with the X-out picture of Ho Chi Minh and Mao Zedong. This campaign aims to terminate and destroy communism itself. There are millions of Vietnamese elected president as a result of that leaflet ongoing campaign, much of its success. In a desperate move, the Vietnamese Communist government labeled top leaders of PNGV as a terrorist. This is not true, and we deny all those allegations. There are important reasons why they did that. One is to stop our members and the PNGV leaders, their mobility's right and their right to travel, to stop the PNG and its leader members to the right of freedom of thoughts, and to stop the PNGV leaders and members from the right to freedom of opinion and expression. To stop the PNGV, its leader, from spreading democracy and human rights in Vietnam. For those reasons, they are in breach and direct violation of human rights according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 13, 18, 19, and 21, respectively. The Vietnamese Communist volition is corrupt and discredit the PNG, is to disrupt and discredit the PNGV because we expose their weakness and establish our stronghold in the people's mind. We win by winning hearts and minds, not by guns and violence. More importantly, the question you should ask is, in 1968, during the Vietnam War, who violated the ceasefire and attacked South Vietnamese and American troops during the Tet Offensive? The VC did. Who strapped themselves with improvised explosive devices and blown themselves up, killed many innocent Vietnamese and American lives? The VC did. Who violated the Paris peace accord by forced aggressions and murders to take over South Vietnam? The VC did. In an overall view, the Communists of Vietnam, its political party and government have a history and a trend in committing illegal, immoral, and violent acts against its people. They have shown their little ability to contract and even lessen moral standards. It sounds to me like they are the real terrorists. What I have described here is just a snippet of their true colors. Our volition is clear. We aim to dismantle and destroy communism at the very root of it. That is the only way to safeguarding a free and prosperous Vietnam. We do not seek to kill or hurt individuals like the Vietnamese communists has claimed us to have done. We seek to destroy the root of communism by exposing Ho Chi Minh for who he is, a Chinese communist spy. In fact, the motto of the president is Vietnamese communists give up communism, they will become Vietnamese. And Vietnamese do not kill Vietnamese. This teaching is in his book, in his publication, lectures, and videos all over YouTube for many, many decades now. He advocates to get back the people's ancestral land and to end the suffering of the people. He practices and teaches humility and leniency. Surely that cannot be terrorism. The PNGV and its leader, members, employees, and everyone involved are not terrorists. The PNGV is a legal vessel with bona fide and ratified constitution, with rules of law, upholding human rights standard, and a partner with the United States. I thank you, and thank you for your time. You might begin your questions.
May I get this on your name?
James Bowie, B-U-I. I might also add that he's the one that spearheaded the electronic voting system that's enabled every citizen, every Vietnamese citizens to be able to vote on their phone, on their computers. So this is a way that we can, attack per se the Vietnamese communists. This is how we're able to win. I think we should just go right to the question.
Oh, so sure. I just want to thank you for being here today.
So, are you all full-time members of the PNGVM, or is there how much of the work of the PNGVM sort of takes up your time?
I'll start that. Okay. I am a full-time member. Most of my time is dedicated to thinking, strategizing, working with the president on strategies that, to overcome the Vietnamese communists, to liberate our people, and to end the suffering.
How many full-time members would you say you are?
We have normally 40 people.
Oh, okay.
Then we have on the voluntary members.
Right.
Almost 60,000 this morning.
And how many? The general is a doctor, a medical doctor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. Can I get your name?
My first name is H-U-N-G, Hong.
Okay.
My middle name is T-H-E, and my last name is Q-U-A-C-H, Watch.
ACH. And are you based here in California?
Yes, I practice in California, and even though we don't have a fixed schedule where we make it twice a week, every time we come for a meeting and we do job, do more than 8 hours every time, and
Oh, sure.
yeah, and that was like a routine, 2 times a week. But all the time I contribute to the government should be more than full time.
Oh, sure.
For example, last night I didn't go to bed until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And you're in charge of the entire military?
It's for now. Yeah.
Alex, I'd like to also point out something on that question you asked regarding time spent in volunteerism.
Right.
I am the first appointed officer of this government as an emissary.
First appointed officer of the government is
As an emissary, yes, to the United States of America.
Okay.
So as such, I operate in representing the interests of this government, both politically and commercially, to the United States. Movers and shakers, flag for a better term.
Right.
And I do spend a great deal of my time in this endeavor.
Okay. So it's sort of like a full-time thing for you as well.
Pretty close.
Can I get your name as well?
Frank, Joseph.
Joseph? Is it Joseph?
It is Joseph, yes.
No, sorry, is your message?
J-O-S-E-P-H, Joseph. Elring, H-E-L-R-I-N-G. There's 2 L's as far as I can go.
H-E-L-R-I-N-G.
N-G.
And you're Vietnam veteran?
No, sir, but I sit here in honor of a Vietnam veteran who gave his life, Carl J. Elring, Spec 4 in 1972.
Is that your family?
Yes, sir.
Your brother?
Cousin.
Cousin. So you were mentioning you have close to 60,000 worldwide?
Volunteers.
How often or has anybody here gone back to Vietnam since 1975 or 1970? Yeah, since 1975 or 77. Since coming to the United States studying.
Sure. I have on multiple occasions.
Okay. And what was your experience like?
You know, it feels like home, but it's not.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand.
Sure.
So it feels like it's like home, but it's not, because everything is upside down. From the moment you arrive at the border, you have to give them money. You know, corruption, you can see it with your eyes. I ride a moped around, the city, and they pull me over for no reason and demanded that I pay for it. So yes, there are that. If you're just trying to get into what their society is like, I can tell you at 9 years old, they put me in the bag and hung me up on a tree and light the hells on fire. The brushes on fire, and that is the same tune. Not just me, but many people here. Their suffering is much worse than mine.
So closer to home for me, my wife visited Vietnam last year. She's Filipino-Chinese.
Okay.
She was over there on vacation. I was in the Philippines on business.
Yeah.
And she called me panicked because she was stopped at the airport and almost incarcerated by the Vietnamese government because they thought she was Vietnamese. Had I not been able to send her an itinerary by photo text,
Yeah.
she could have been, taken up force.
I guess it'd be worthwhile, as long as we're on here, if I could maybe get a short introduction from people who haven't spoken yet, just so I know what sorry.
Thomas Kenneth Gabriel.
Thomas Kenneth Gabriel.
Yes. And,
Kenneth, common spelling, and Gabriel, Gabriel.
yes, sir. And I was approached by Frank next to me, and they want to get a formal invite to the presidents of the United States. And so I basically worked on putting that together through some of my connections. You mentioned the name Leo Wanto. He's I don't want to digress too much, but stick to the question. So I was brought here pretty much just to help and we support 100% believe in the causes.
So this table is sort of, you guys have the job of outreach to the U.S. government.
Yes, we do. Thomas really has been appointed officially to the emissary positioning of this government as a key advisor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Stack.
Okay.
Easy to spell, S-T-A-C-K, just like it sounds.
Yeah.
I'm a longtime advisor to the president. I consult with him on strategic matters,
Okay.
Dealing with other foreign governments,
Yeah.
and how to best utilize our strategy to free the people of Vietnam.
Okay. And how long have you been working with the KGB?
Since it was founded in the 90s.
Wow. Okay. All right. And that's interesting. And what's your background?
My background professionally is real estate and development, but I'm a total 100% volunteer with the government,
Okay.
and I have some experience in dealing with those people who don't believe in God. Our basic philosophy as a government and as individuals at this table is we are subject to God as God's children, which puts us in total opposition to the communists who ignore God and His rules and His laws. So as we win the hearts and minds of the people of Vietnam with ideas of individual liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and fundamental human dignity, they don't understand it. So because they use terrorism as a governmental tactic, anyone is subject to be arrested or killed at any whim of the government. they can't understand us. So that's our real strategy. They don't understand peace, they don't understand freedom because they don't recognize it. So my job is to advise along those lines. How can we ultimately win and take back the country without bloodshed, without fighting? And the ideas that we espouse are the same as the founders of the United States of America. We have a constitution, individual rights, individual liberties. Thank you.
Thank you. So has anyone else been back to Vietnam since coming to the United States?
Multiple times.
And when was the most recent time you went to Vietnam?
More recent time was 2015.
Okay. And what's your experience been like in Vietnam?
Our lawyer has talked about the issues of corruption start to appear when at the time you sit down in the airplane and go through the custom, and if you open all of your package, open up, check, in your passport you have to put little money. And when we get on the taxi on the way, and we saw the police stop the taxi, and they say, I don't know what they talked with the driver, but the driver come back and say, they asked for 400,000 and I offered them 200,000. They didn't get money, not the dollars. And he said, from the morning I haven't get any money, now I have to pay them. The rule over there is if you don't listen to them, your driver license will be taken and you have to go to court to get it back. So this happens all the time when I go to either bus or taxi. When in bus here, we don't have much of the private car, so we always go on a bus from city to city, and on the way that's all we happen. That's just some of them, and there is many other things. Like the people, we saw this sign say following the ethical example of Ho Chi Minh.
Right.
And Ho Chi Minh actually, we know he's not ethical at all. There's so many things that I stop here and I don't want to.
Okay. I appreciate it. Anyone else have anything about Vietnam? I just wondered when you go to Vietnam, have you been able to do any work on behalf of the NGVN when you went there to Vietnam?
I did. I went there because we went to meet with our representative there.
Okay.
I went from south to north, and then met our representative.
Okay. And in this designation that the Republic of South Vietnam announced in January following the terrorist group, is that going to interfere with your ability to go back, do you think? And do members still plan to go back?
It will definitely interfere with all of our troubles.
Okay.
Once we landed in there, we had the whims of their mercy, so to speak.
Okay.
Just by them announcing that they're terrorists,
Yeah.
it will create, astronomical amount of difficulty for us all.
Okay.
In fact, our life is in jeopardy, and so I don't know how some member felt, but for me, I felt a little threatened.
Okay.
Also, most recently, you obviously maybe are aware of the two Vietnamese American citizens that have been jailed for
Right.
14 years.
Angel Fan and James.
And claim association with this government. Our position on that would be, as American citizens, this is a violation of human rights law of the United States of America. Those rights have been pinched by the communist government. And as such, the President of the United States, which is sworn to defend those human rights, should come to some aid of these two individuals de facto.
Okay. So, speaking of them, thanks for that. Were they sent back, were Angel Fan and James Wynn, were they sent back, were they sent to Vietnam with orders to recruit new members?
No. We're not really sure why Lon's there, why James is there.
Okay.
Angel, she's a practitioner of the Buddhist faith.
Okay.
She has an office down in San Diego where she donates her office, her time, and resources to the community.
Okay.
So she prints, literatures and all that, and she does a lot of community work, including in Vietnam,
Okay.
helping children and the homeless.
Okay.
But the details of her, I only met her briefly, so I didn't get a chance to really converse with her. But
Sure.
I've been to her office in San Diego. She's a really good person.
Okay.
Heartfelt, but we're going to do everything to get them out.
Okay. So, were James Wynn and Angel Fan, were they sent there with any orders at all from the PNGB to do anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay. And James Wynn admitted to, or he said over there that he recruited PNGBN members, including the mayor of Saigon, yes, PNGBN mayor of Saigon in Vietnam. Do you know anything about that?
Well, Vietnamese Communist tactics, it's always intimidation and forceful confession. Otherwise, they'll cut their head off.
Okay.
And this is known. If you look at a person named by the name of Wu Tong, last name Nguyen, they mistaken him for our flag and just butcher him. Arrested him, made it look like a suicide, and suffocated his head. And there are pictures all over the place on YouTube, on news media, and social media. So I'm not surprised that James said the things that he said.
Okay.
But if you look at Angel Fan's statement, you never admit to any of that because she didn't do anything.
Okay.
We know that those two are innocent. We have many members, and they specifically, pick those two Americans.
Innocent of what? Because there's some things that they could be doing that U.S. law could just be constitutionally protected, free speech, free engagement. Are they innocent of that in Vietnam it might be different? Are they innocent of under Vietnamese law and under American principles?
I think we're innocent under both laws. They're not committing crimes, so to speak. I don't know particular of what they're doing there, but it's hard to imagine that they can invoke any type of violence.
Okay.
We don't condone it, or government never asks anybody to go commit any type of violent crimes, or we don't even ask them to go protest because the president has developed a voting system where it's secure, it's locked into their cell phone, so they can protest by just voting from the safety of their own home. This is the way that we're going to bring it, not by any means of violence.
Okay.
And I think it's appropriate to point out at this point that the communists have taken their own action most recently in the fact that they are seeking to secure 99-year leases in sovereign territory in Vietnam. And in response to this, the people have arisen and have started to demonstrate against us because they view this as absolutely abhorrent to them of the Chinese occupying Vietnamese soil. And in response to that, the communists daily are murdering people in the streets of Vietnam in these demonstrations, and arrests are occurring. And more importantly, we do not see a tremendous amount of this reporting occurring in the United States media.
Right.
And at the point in time, most recently, I think the only article that I saw in print was the New York Times and whatnot. So I would say at this particular point in time, we would encourage you to do a little more investigation because we consider it a Tiananmen Square occurring in Saigon.
Okay. Well, maybe you could, on that point, maybe you could give your view of having seen what happened in these National Day. Do you have any observations on how it went? Were you hear anything through any sources to get a sense of how I know that the government expected protests in just wondering from your sense how they went?
We haven't really tapped into the news, but you know, it's been the same tune with that government, and that is if you start protests, there's going to be violence, there's going to be security police jailing people, and it's the same tune for us.
Okay.
It's the same tune. They don't change. They don't recognize you, right? Bloggers or journalists like you speak the wrong thing, don't tell you.
Yeah.
That's just throughout this 40 years, the same. Now it's becoming more apparent because thanks to the internet, it's kind of like pushing out there.
We do have media copy and photos we can provide you.
Okay.
Most of them pretend. See, what they do is they try to bring illegitimacy to the protest by providing their own people, security forces, pretending like they're citizens, go protest, and then commit violence acts against their own agent so that they can suppress all the protests, give them the right to jail all of them, and treat them, the real protesters, in a manner where however they want.
Okay.
Also, Alex, I think it's important to point out, you do see military uniforms in this room, including the one I'm wearing. I do not have a sidearm, so I am not a terrorist. Let me say this to you. I think President Dao was brilliant in the way that he's formed this military aspect of his government, because when the Third Republic of Vietnam is reinstituted, all of the leadership positions will be in place, and he is going to issue amnesty to the Vietnamese military, whereby there is a takeover of the military, but not firing a shot.
Okay. This would be a good time to...
If I just may add, when we kind of go back to the previous question, when they start protesting, when they install their own agent into protest, commit violence act against their own agent, what they do is they jail them, and then they create media publicity here, and try to get the U.S. government to sponsor those individuals out. And then those individuals would go into our communities here and install into different positions of the community, working with different official members like mayors, councilmen, and runs their own agenda. This is something that has been happening for a long time, and I hope that the United States government sees it and put a stop to it.
Okay. Maybe Mr. Dao could explain his strategy for retaking control of Vietnam and how feasible, how soon.
I would say at this point, Alex, we intend to retake Vietnam in a peaceful manner through the medium of free elections. The president is going to allow the people to choose their president. He's not going to come in like a dictator or any type of some person who would seek just to grab a seat of authority. Most importantly, and I've alluded to this before, granting the amnesty to the existing military. All they will simply have to do is take off the North Vietnamese uniform and put on a Third Republic uniform, and they are now part of the Third Republic of Vietnam military. Also, it will be the return of the islands, and this is important, of Paracel and Scrapping. Right now, as you well know, there's a tremendous controversy going on in the United States of America, the occupation of 5 islands in the South China Sea by the PRC. This is causing a very disquieting issue to the President. here in the United States. Also, you have the deep-water port issue in Darwin, in Australia, where Red Chinese warships are dropping anchor, which is a backdoor move of the Red Chinese in that section of the world. If you go back in history, and history is designated to repeat itself, it was the same strategy the Japanese employed during World War II, was to put a choke point on the South China Sea. So by the Third Republic of Vietnam bringing sovereignty back to those two islands, this will absolutely be a trump card, if you will, to borrow a term, against the Red Chinese, and more importantly, the President will issue docking rights to the United States Navy on those two islands. Last but not least, he's going to issue an executive order, the reason why I'm wearing this hat today, to locate and return the POWs and MIAs with the remains of same to the land of their birth.
You know, it seems sort of like a very uphill battle. Wouldn't you say? PNGBN is here, the government.
Well,
What are some immediate steps to
sure, I'll give you a bullet point, and you're absolutely right. It's an uphill battle because we want it to be peaceful, and you know that in any successful transition of power, you have to be able to transfer the power without bloodshed. Okay. So I'll give you a few bullet points. First, we'll find a way to prove that Ho Chi Minh is not a patriot, but he's a spy of the Chinese Communist Party. Okay. And he was brought to Vietnam to divide and conquer. And he had caused over 3 million death in that region. Second, we'll prove that the Vietnamese communists are just an organized crime organization that has committed robbery, murder, rape of women, children, abduction, money laundering, and once we prove that, we'll go to submit a lawsuit against them and the Chinese Communist Party at the International Court of Justice to claim the righteousness and justice for the Vietnamese victims. We'll cooperate with free countries to freeze illegal assets of the Communists of Vietnam. As you well know, President Obama signed the Magnitsky Act. We will establish a electronic voting system, one that is state-of-the-art, so that the people can vote without afraid of retaliation from the Vietnamese communists. And we call for a fair and free general election in Vietnam to replace the communist regime with a more democratic republic regime.
And how imminent do you think all these changes could be? How imminent is the actual ultimate goal for you?
They're very imminent. They're important to our cause, and they're important because it shows to us that the people are ready for a change.
But how soon is it to happen? How soon?
We waited over 40-something years now. We can wait, a few more years. I can't really comment on the particulars of how soon, but if the people are ready by tomorrow, we have all the tools in place to convert them tomorrow.
I would also say this to you, Alex, in the last elections that occurred in Vietnam, President Dao received well over 1 million votes from the Vietnamese people. Okay. More importantly, the answer is sitting there in front of you on your table, which is your smartphone. Right now, every Vietnamese is, possessed with a smartphone device. And because of the election system that we have put together proprietary, we are able to reach every single one of those phones, which gives an aspect of freedom to the Vietnamese people. And the only way the communists could actually stop that effort, they have to cut off the Wi-Fi.
That's interesting. I'd like to ask about that. Yes, please.
That is his design,
Oh, okay, please.
and he will tell you.
All right.
So at the end of this press conference,
Okay.
would you please try the phone?
Okay.
You can see how easy it is.
Oh, I will.
Type in that one, then you can select the new video of you.
Oh, I look forward to seeing that.
Every people, right now in Vietnam, we have like 40 million cell phones. enough because they can do it in their room, even in their restroom,
Right.
everywhere. If they don't like they without pressure from communists,
Right.
they can choose. That's why our government to form, not to control the people, but we try to give the people the power.
I see.
The power so they can select what the regime, what the democracy, the way of the country. We let people choose the way they are. See?
So maybe we could talk about that a little more. So what we're talking about, just so I understand it, you're saying that you have developed a system for people on the phone to go and select who should be at the head of the PNG.
Yes, they can choose the leader of the
They
country.
choose the, okay. And is there a specific date on which an election, or a range of dates on which an election is going to be taking place, or has it just recently taken place? Where are we on that?
It's been going on.
It's been, so it's a kind of an
Yeah.
ongoing process.
We have like millions most likely. Because right now, let me explain to you, before I think the Republic of Vietnam soldiers, they fight very good at the matter, but they lose because they don't respect very much. They don't love the people very much. So now we respect the people, we love the people, and we let the people choose what they want.
Interesting.
So with the system I use on my line and with the good engineer like Master P, stay over there to design that system. So the people can go into that system with their cell phone to select who is the leader of Vietnam.
Okay.
And after they send that message into our system, their cell phone will not have any information, even like the communist authority right next to him,
Yeah.
next to her. They robbed that cell phone on the information we got, so they don't have any
That's
to
great.
prove that the people violate.
So the election is happening right now, the voting is happening right now. When did it start? When did the voting start?
It started 2016.
The voting started in
Yeah.
2016. And is there a time by which the voting is going to stop? And it's just time to count votes and see what the results were?
Before the voting system count, but people can send the email, they can send the voice, and they can email to us what they want.
That was the old system before it was
The old
technology.
system since 2016, something like that. And after the economy tried to kill some people because they
Or IP address.
then we have to stay there, and I quit job and I can work with the good engineer to create a system that the people can vote.
Okay.
But right now, after this press conference, you can try it.
Yeah, no.
Put any people and then you hit the submit, it's
Well,
gone.
that sounds great. But, okay, so it started in 2016. Are we saying it started in 2016, this new system, this new technology, or just the voting started?
Recently.
Recently.
Voting started in 2016.
Yes.
And when is the, because every election sort of ends, starts and ends. When is the election going to end?
Because we count right now, the Vietnam have a 673 million people. And we count, that's about like a 40 million people available to vote.
Okay.
So if we more than 20 million, then automatically we is representative for the Vietnam.
Sure.
And if we just reach the number is 5 million votes from that system, so then we have more than Vietnam communists because they have only right now, they have only less than 4 million votes because from their members for the communists.
Okay, interesting. But when is the election going to stop? When
When we reach the number,
you reach which number? When you reach,
the two numbers, the first number is when we reach 5 million number. But 5 million, that means we have more than the Vietnam Communist authorities or party members.
okay,
Or we reach 21 million votes. That means automatically we represent for the Vietnam country.
okay. And how many votes have you received so far?
We receive so far on the electronic system, and right now we just start up. But before we receive almost about 3 million, more than 3 million votes.
Received.
But different kind of formats, like they run, they call in,
Oh,
they're talking, but now we try to then to vote again with the new system.
Okay, and when was the new system launched?
The system started only like 2 months.
2 months ago.
Yes. And we received already more than 60,000 votes so far.
And I know you're going to show me on the phone. I look forward to it. Do you have are you running an election, sir?
Yes, I run for election at this moment.
Do you have an opponent? Someone running against you?
I don't see that because before I run myself, I have the notice to public.
Okay.
I ask every people because we have that notice since like February 2017,
Okay.
and every people can be like candidates,
Candidate.
but no one become the candidate, so I have to volunteer myself.
So you're running unopposed at this time?
Exactly, at this moment, only we on that system, but the people can choose yes or no.
Oh, I see. Are there other candidates as well?
Not yet.
I think, Alex, it's also important to point out, I mean, numbers obviously are a big thing in political elections,
Yeah.
and I understand what you're saying. The other side of the coin, though, is, I mean, we remember the corporate raiders, right? They could take over a corporation with 5% proxy votes
Okay,
of the
sure.
stock.
Yeah.
So I think that's what President Dao is alluding to right now. Winning the hearts and minds of the people, it doesn't take a great percentage in order to be able to achieve that.
Okay.
And this is not I would not call it an election of the referendum.
Referendum.
For people,
Yes,
our situation is very special. The people, the whole country have been suppressed, and we cannot hold an election in Vietnam and outside here. I don't think, practically, I don't think any of the Communist Party member want to compete with it. You know?
Okay.
So we are a very special situation. We are listen and we try to work for almost 100 million people suffering over more than 70 years.
If I may ask, the organization is, as you said, committed to peaceful principles and working peacefully, but you had the military wing. Given that it's a peaceful organization, what are your main tasks?
You know, one of the president of the United States actually, we have to prepare for the worst and we can have peace. And we cannot, let's say, surrounding the China country now, even people have, the countries do have an army, but very weak compared with them, and they are slowly invade them all by different means. Sometimes by real army, sometimes just by like an economic way to do it. You know? And yeah, like Vietnam, they try to put real Chinese into our top leader of the government of the Senate and so on and so forth. So we are not a regular case. It's an emergency because right now China is, I would say, all over the place in Vietnam now. They masquerade as either visitor and or employee, and believe it or not, they come to Vietnam with no need for visa, and for example, on the train, you know, some of the train way, all the sign, and then now in Chinese, and they even come into our system try to erase Vietnamese, whatever our culture, tradition. For example, most of the statue, you know, represent our hero has been cut down, and they chopped down 2,000 big tree in our Hanoi, in our northern city, and also rural thing is now they change Vietnamese language. They put in some new words and they stop some words we will not be used in school. So later, I don't think the younger generation will be able to read, you know, real Vietnamese anymore. This is just an example of thinking. In every aspect of life, you know, they always interfere in our.
So you're saying that China is interfering with Vietnam,
yes.
And your function as the head of the military at the end is to be aware of those types of threats. What else is, given that it's a peaceful organization, what is the military wing's function?
We we don't form to compete, to combat in battle with weapons. But we, right now, like you used to know, we don't have any weapons right now. But when we be able to give the referendum, or when we can come back to Vietnam, obviously, as any country in the world, will have army. But the most important thing, what is the army will be used for? We not use it for fight against China, but in many aspects of life we need army. For example, here in America, sometimes even for disaster, natural disaster, then the government have to use and mobilize the army. And obviously, we have to have a soldier to watch the border and things like that. That's a lot of things. But definitely, the army to serve for peace, not for war.
And do many members of your military wing have experience fighting in the Vietnam War?
We're talking about in the past?
In the past.
In the past, yes, we at some point there has been up to almost 1 million of our military members. And at that time, we fight shoulder to shoulder with many of our allies, but again, most of them was American. We do have a member, but the people who really concerned about we here on volunteer. So people who come to join us, the people who really concerned about the country, losing the country, and also about people who suffer, we need to save them. And most important, they already sold the country by the 50s and 1989, Chengdu. They said they already the top leaders of the Communist Party that come to China and leading, and they sold the country. And that integration between the two countries, so that ultimately we will become a district, not even a province, a district of China. And this will happen very strongly, progress very strongly, and it's supposed to be end in 2020.
Okay. So did you fight in Vietnam War?
No, I didn't. My situation at the time very special because I Vietnamese Lord. We have in family have 2 sons.
Yeah.
One of my brother died in the army. That's time 5 years
Oh, I
old,
see.
and then I was leaving from the
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Excuse me, let me make that really clear about what we're talking about, like a voting system.
Okay.
Because that is referendum system.
Referendum.
Yeah, that give us the position to represent the voice of the Vietnamese. So we can organize a free and fair election in Vietnam. So by that time, the people elect any candidate they want.
Okay.
Yes.
This is me, Alec. Can I add about the question before I just add?
Yes.
Okay, first, I would like to introduce you. My name is William.
Hi, William.
Yes. And you asked about the military before 1975. And I was a pilot with training in the United States. And I was during the war. To answer the question about what we have right now in the military. We have very powerful military before 1975. But what happened, why we are here today? So, first of all, I would like to tell you that we cannot use the power, the weapon, to win this war. That's why Provisional National Government of Vietnam have the strategy. So I was in Vietnam 4 times before I attend President the Provisional National Government of Vietnam. So 4 times I was in Vietnam, and I see how the communists act to Vietnamese people. It's terrible, they terrorize the people, they destroy all the talent, and they imprisoning the patriots. Every time I was there, it's different. The harder the people live. And even they don't have freedom, peace, or human rights. So last time I was there in 1976 in March, 2016 March. I was at the church with the people who test. There's about 1,000 people who test. And I see that the Vietnamese soldiers, Vietnamese cops, stand by behind. Some of them just wear the civilian clothes, not the military. And they try to find out who is the leader in that group. They try to pull that person out, and they put them in a bus and take them to the station. Some of them start come back. Some of them hurt really bad. I was there. I see that. Today, I see if the people continue to protest like that, the Vietnamese communists will find some leader. They try to put like that leader, and they try to destroy that leader. So, to compare this with the protest and referendum, just like General just said, the way we do right now is very peaceful and let the people have the freedom to vote to bring the third Republic of Vietnam back to Vietnam, so they will have the peace, freedom, and human right for the whole nation, for the next generation. So that's what I think between the protest and the referendum. And the vote that President just said is the best I see. And my family in Vietnam did that right now.
Oh, they voted.
They voted with that, and nobody can stop it. So I hope that with this news can go all over the world so people can vote it to find peace, freedom, human right for the whole nation. Thank you very much.
Đào Minh Quân anh hùng cứu nguy dân Việt, quên thân mình ngày ngày chung lo việc nước. Một lời thề vì dân chiến đấu, không ngại ngùng vì nước hy sinh cho muôn đời tổ quốc quang vinh. Việt Nam Đào Minh Quân, dân đang chờ ngày vui no ấm, xóa tan bao nỗi lầm than. Việt Nam Đào Minh Quân, xây cơ đồ hồn thiên sông núi, ánh dương lên soi sáng khắp địa cầu.